But I haven't ever read a poem kind of using an accent, and I think that's because I'm a black country man, and black country men speak proper English, as we all know. This kind of poem on the ending of a favourite thing, it is about an experience I had in Birmingham. I would travel to Birmingham from West Bromwich if I ever wanted to go dancing. So I'm going to try a Brummie accent. Fat, flushed, flash and funky, yo and old movement like a disco master, knowing when to stop while she lurched from crisis to crisis, locking 3 doors behind her in a never-ending labyrinth of confusion and no crack. I'm sorry, I had no clarity. At another track of rhythm, pulled your feet towards the dance floor, braking, clutching, moving through gears fast and slow. It didn't matter to you, you were shaking, injected by fuels feeding the dance action as our arena filled and emptied, leaving 2 together to tango, sore and wounded. But our batteries flattened, lights came up, the pattern of travel homeward before crashing into a scrapyard, all that distance covering fun or disaster, turning to find a blue driving wheel to a butterfield, heading east, returning west at the setting of the final sun. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me make my accent.
Brilliant. Loved it. Oh, it's
right. No, that was good.
But I hardly stammer in a Birmingham accent as well. I just noticed that. I do it.
Interesting.
And so that last one was also about the end of the relationship. Right, another time, way gone. This is about a period of time when I was rough sleeping. It's called Between 5 and 8 o'clock. A low tone rumbles lonely through trees of our wood of rough sleeping, and howl hoots the fox patrols by a copse where pagans meet in August. John Barleycorn is dead again, sacrificed, buried by a small tree stump. A cold chill permeating a soiled quilt of lost nights gladly taken. As needs must, action calls ignition travelling to a service station. Embarrassed, found solo, an Asian man working late, serves hot coffee. Returning to my woods, a lost chance to sleep between hours 5 and 8. What to do with daytime, long hours stretching out in lonely town. Thank you. Did that without Birmingham accent. But a lot of people are aware I'm involved in a conservation project. Kind of local to where I live. We tried to save a town hall as an arts centre and as an employment hub, and we weren't able to do that. But however, I wrote several poems in favour of the campaign, and I based it all on the kind of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And this one's from Article 12, and I can't remember what Article 12 is. I don't have my notes in front of me. But it's called It Is Not a Dire Warning. So, Who climbed who climbed the tree when young or older, stamping feet on insect life? Who just sat and watched from the comfort of a blanket, raising another sandwich? Who went home and dreamt soundly with noise of children slowly fading into night? Who rose the next day to the tinkle of letters dropping on a mat? And who, if anyone, heard the besmirching of names and reputation? Who just sat and witnessed as the tree came down, a summer square disappeared, jobs were lost, a centre vandalised, newness impinged on conservation, negated villas, damaged trees and tore out hearts, rolled out tears? I did. You did, we all did. This is what we do. We live our lives not watching, not giving witness, not standing up long enough for our communal protection. It's nothing bad and change won't hurt. Some already thirst for it. It's just what we do, regardless of warnings, now lost to history. Thank you. Over to you, Gwyneth. 2 poems.
I'll have to go through to another room and find some.
Okay, you do that, and I'll pass over to Wendy.
Right.
2
Okay.
poems.
I found one here called Slag Heaps, Tramps and Thieves. If you've had your pride crushed, if you've had your name trashed, if you've been petrol doused, if you've been threatened with violence, if you've been beaten, if you've been ignored by the police, if you've been arrested drunk and disorderly when you're 12 in the company of 5 adult men, if you've been passed off as a wanderer, so no worries when you disappear from the home for a week, if you've been passed around a gang of men like a sex toy, if you've been imprisoned, if you've been trafficked, if you've survived all this, then you are not white trash, my friend. You are a superior human being. Wake up, Britain, white trash unite. Rotherham is a wake-up call. Sluts, slags, slappers, trash, chavs, whores. From towns to cities, from hills to moors, kids are treated like dirt. From working class to underclass. Can they put us down anymore? Bequeath us with beneath. Wow, I'd forgotten completely I'd written that.
That's
Wow.
really brilliant.
This is why, because I've got a chance to look through, yeah, because I was really affected by Rotherham and all that.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the gangs.
So, right, yeah, but I'd forgotten, yeah, and also, yeah. This one is a bit kind of more genteel. I tried to write this. I sent this to Ambit actually, and they said it was interesting, but not quite what they wanted. And I didn't think it would be, but I thought I'd try. And it's set in Southwold, which I'm sure Richard knows really well. It's lovely. I love Southwold anyway. And it's called Soul Bay. And I never realised that Soul on the shipping forecast was actually Soul as in S-O-L-E. Did you know that, Richard?
No.
Yeah, I thought with your Suffolk connections and that, but it's Soul Bay, S-O-L-E. Night's churn upturns my guts, bilious waves return the future. Broken, spreading, white froth caught in moonlight, like a fresh white sheet thrown by a maid, putting the ocean to bed. Spreadsheet before me, no script pours from me, crisp, clean sheets. But nothing figures or fulfills now that I've left the sea. Memories gain so that I picture you in contemplation, creating my own portable light room, quickly developing the intricacies to loose my coat of shells, and am inspired to see only soft ships, not hard ships. Oft lips say, take something positive from the negative, like the beauty of monochrome shadows on a wet plate. Yeah, I thought try and be kind of, but yeah, no.
Work for me.
Thanks.
So, Gwyneth, are you ready? Or shall I move on to Sez? Moving on to Sez.
Okay, I'm going to give you another sonnet and one last poem about autism. This was sonnet from the Torture Days, number 54, and it's kind of a cheaty sonnet because it's not in iambic pentameter; it's in something else. So I'm going to try and work it. I think anapaests rather than pentameter because I'm a geek about this stuff. And this one is called "Oh, Now Trauma is a Big Deal All of a Sudden." Are you afraid to go out of the house? Do you feel panicked when people get close? Do you make daily, no hourly vows not to overreact? Do you break all of those? Have you been washing your groceries well? Are you afraid that you'll let your guard fall? Are your hands chapped from the soap and Purell? Are you worried that none of it's helping at all? Do you feel sick when you're watching the news? Do you strongly suspect that somebody is lying? Do you think you should limit your mobile phone use because the things that you read keep on leaving you crying? And do you remember the times that you said to someone in distress, oh, it's all in your head?
Oh, brilliant.
Remember it well.
And yeah, because I've got quite a few friends for whom life didn't change much because of lockdown, because they already weren't socialising and going out very much because of social anxiety and things. Didn't change that much for me, if I'm honest. And suddenly all these people go, oh, it's really bad, I feel scared to go out of the house. Really? So this is a poem that I really like doing, and it's called Autisticus. I'm here representing the autists and Aspies and neuroatypicals, people who find interaction so difficult, try to blend in, but we can't with the crowd. We're either too quiet or suddenly loud at the wrong time, but sometimes we want to fit in what we wouldn't give to feel kinship with actual kin, but the din of the crowd that we try to fade into is too much. It's too loud, it's too overwhelming, and all the well-meaning advice isn't helping. We suddenly snap. Oh. And now it's gone silent. Your noise is just background, but our noise is violent. When we get on your nerves, it's because we're a letdown. When you get on ours, we're just having a meltdown. We need to learn strategies, learn how to cope with the way that you are when you won't even meet us halfway. How about nope? Because I'm not a piece of a jigsaw for you to just solve. And if you saw what we saw, you wouldn't be trying to take it away with a fix or a cure or a vaccine to blame, because we can find beauty in numbers and trains, and the intricate pattern of pattering rain, and the way that the light hits the links in a chain, and historical plans of how Romans made drains. But you say we don't see the world as it's meant to be. Everything's wrong, and you say we've no empathy. Mate, we've so much that it's causing us pain as we feel all the tension around us flood into our brains, and there's nothing to do but lock in on the numbers and patterns and theories and trains till it all ebbs away and there's something like peace. But it can't stay that way, at least not when you're there to make us aware we're unnatural, unwanted, unhealthy, unfair. You need to police our responses, but don't seem to care about what's underneath the blank stare. This world is so sharp that it cuts us, but we came prepared. There's places we know we can go and we're scared, and we know that it hurts you to know you can't follow us there. And I know that you think when I gaze into space that for you it's a source of disgrace, that you can't see emotions you think I should feel on my face. And I know when I look at you blankly it causes alarm, because this isn't my soul that you see on my face. It's my armour. Thank you very much.
Oh, brilliant. Very good.
Thank you.
Michelle.
Okay, so this one's called Oh Mercury. O Mercury, the messenger of the gods, O Hydrogen, Hg, liquid silver, the light shapeshifter. As light travels, you're a fast traveller. You can transform to any shape, shimmering, light, bright as a star. Through every crack and cranny you can reach. Your gift as a god. However, a toxic residue is left by you for me to chew. O messenger of the gods, we become absorbed by you. Our skin, our breath, our food, and in particular, fish. I watch in wonder at your ability to transform and transcend into any place and any shape. O messenger of the gods, I know only too well to keep my central and peripheral nervous systems hidden from you, as you know how to attack. Such was the plight of the hatters that you left in tatters as they absorbed mercurous nitrate, spending their days exposed to the mercury vapours, causing the Mad Hatter's disease that left them in tatters. O messenger of the gods, Mercury, your quicksilver light, we must be careful not to touch.
Very
So that's
good.
that one. And I'll find one out of here. Some of them are a bit upside down. Oh, I wanted to read you, didn't I? I promised you the balls, bollocks and dangly bits one time. So here we go, this is a funny one. Balls, bollocks and dangly bits. Balls, bollocks and dangly bits and pubic hair. Balls, pricks and dangly bits. Lychees, testicles. I choose scrotum. What words to choose to describe his most beautiful, voluptuous bits? The male autonomy. And it's delicious, real juicy. So why don't the boys wear skin-tight tights? That we could size up their juicy bits. We could see their balls inside their bags, balls on strings, just like boobs are in a boom bag. So balls could be displayed in a dicky strap. There's always bollocks getting a wet patch. When they sit next to you on the bus, though, legs wide apart, pushing you out the window or off the seat, then they're not fussed as long as they can scratch, rub, tickle their bit in the middle. That's why they have to sit with their legs wide apart, leaving you no room to breathe. Next time you hear men shouting at a voluptuous woman, remember, their balls are easily squeezed. Grab 'em and they squeak. All the way home, rub too hard and they scream. What words to describe? Booms and bums are friendly women's things. What about all those male genitals? Balls, bollocks, dicks and johnnies, Freds and Sams, don't forget Peter Pan. Pricks, they don't get a mention. Just to be a seed seems to be enough. Bullshit, bollocks, balls and dangly bits.
But I think I'm happy to follow on from that. From that, sure, obviously.
Oh, the only
People were
fellow in
talking
here.
earlier about Matthew Cayley, and he sounded quite famous to me. I've heard his name. I've also heard of a poet called Chris Mead, who's quite local to me. Chris Mead has got his master's in teleology. What is teleology? Teleology is an idea that everybody has a story that starts off, I nearly, or it nearly happened to me, and so on and so on. But I nearly went to one of his workshops, kind of locally as part of a local festival, but I went at 10 o'clock and it started at 2, and so I missed it. I got my times wrong. Something that happens to me
Nearly did
quite
it.
a lot. Yeah, I nearly went. On that day, for the first time in my life, somebody asked me to write a poem. And again, it was a conservation poem, and it was for Carl Salton Fire Station, which people wanted to turn into an arts and centre. And so I said, write us a poem as part of a campaign. And so I did. It's called I Nearly Wrote a Poem. I nearly wrote a poem waiting for the Nearly show to start its art at the Crouch End Festival. I nearly passed a venue with another closed sign, not open, kind of broken, a fire station in Carshalton. I nearly passed a moment with a nice curator, talking chances, approving glances at the Cambridge Strawberry Fair. I nearly missed my blogging, I do it weekly, writing lines and other crimes for disability arts online. I nearly remembered arts are valuable, collecting stubs could be a buzz back at Carshalton Fire Station. I nearly was a someone producing spoken word, I gave it to a bird, at least birds are sometimes heard, high on the roof at Carshalton Fire Station. And I nearly got involved, but our centre got closed down, another frown, a broken town, pitching this poem for Carshalton Fire Station.
Wow. Very good.
Something I do on a regular basis, I take signs of the International Sign of Disabled People, which we'll all know is a wheelchair user who doesn't represent me or any of us. But I know that everybody here tonight has an impairment of one kind or another. I was in Faversham, and I was in a car park in Faversham, and it had a sign, the International Sign of Disabled People, and it said something about us. And I turned that into two really quick poems. It's called Maximum Stay. You are allowed to stay in Faversham for just 2 hours a day. But I thought I can improve on that. I can do an haiku, and so I did an haiku called Maximum Stay. Disabled people are only allowed to stay for 2 hours daily. There you go, an haiku. Gwyneth, are you ready to read us your poems?
Right, you know, I've got wonky eyesight. If other people don't know, I've got wonky eyesight. So I have to, the poems I want to read on the computer for poetry readings, I have to type them in big print, in dark print. So I went through to where I keep all my poems, picked up a whole bundle. And the only one that's in really dark print is this one, which is called When. And it's, I hate the winter. I don't like living in the city. So by the end of the winter, when I'm going for my walks to try and keep myself fit, I'm always looking for signs of life. So it's because I hate the winter. And I discovered in one of the roads near to where I live here, willow trees. And I discovered that they're just about the first trees to wake up after the winter. So I was to be seen going every day, peering at willow trees. The people who lived in the road must have thought I was mad, but I was looking for the green leaves. So here it is. I called it When. When January and February lose their promise, my patience is disrupted, my tolerance deflated. I go in search of willow trees, willows that sit with their feet in water, their long roots searching for the moisture, have sturdy trunks and cascading branches, welcome the rain as they spring to life. Eminent buds bursting with beauty, of luminous golden long green leaves, celebrate the promise of nature's rebirth. A favorite talisman of Greek gods and druids, historical legends and fascinating myths, and the cherished wood of many craftsmen. That's it. Sorry, that's the one with in strong print. And it's interesting.
Beautiful.
It's interesting. I still go in search of willow trees, and there's some lovely willow trees in Waterloo Park. Does anyone know it?
Yes, I know
Yeah.
Waterloo Park.
Well, I'm to be seen walking around there, peering at willow trees as well.
Oh.
And there's some ponds in Waterloo Park, and they're sitting with their feet in water, the willows. It's amazing if you get hooked. If you've got funny eyesight, you're fed up of the winter, and you get hooked on willows. It's amazing what you find out about them. They
It's
do
where
sit.
aspirin came from, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, the more you read about willow trees, and people have been writing at them from the year dot, I think. Yes, because they have so many different uses. But for me, the prime use is to tell me that spring is coming, because they get their leaves. Think about the first trees. And if you go wandering around Waterloo Park by the pond and start staring at the trees, it's almost as though the leaves come out for you.
Oh.
So there we are, right?
Lovely. We've got a big willow tree here in Kensal Green, right on the corner. I'll think of you now when I look at it.
Right. I might be seen there standing gawping.
Oh, please come. I'll go up with you.
Because I'm sure the people in the road near me that where there are willows wonder who's this odd woman that's come to look at these trees.
They're just really important, aren't they, to tell you where you are in the time of year.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. So, and they're useful. But the thing I didn't know about them is that craftsmen, woodworkers, it's a wood they like to work with. I didn't know that one.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So.
And Joanna Armatrading wrote a song about it, didn't she? She likes to write songs about willow.
And it's leather. It's the cricket bats. Who wrote the poem that about listening to leather on willow? It was somebody who lived near a cricket field. And when he opened his windows,
thing John Betjeman would do, but I couldn't swear to it.
Yeah,
no.
Or Auden or Betjeman.
Yeah, but it was hearing, willow on leather on willow. Yes. So listen for that as well.
Left if people want another round.
No, thank you. Help me out.
Okay, are you happy to sit and listen to us then, Gwyneth?
Yes.
Yeah, you're so nice. But I'm going to start the.
I'm going to go just because I'm.
Then Sez, we're losing Michelle.
Nice to meet
Bye,
you.
Michelle.
Yeah, nice to meet everyone and thank you.
Yeah.
But I need the loo and.
Yeah, I need to eat soon.
And you seem to be sinking into the ocean as well, so you know.
I am. You can see I'm sinking into. It's good, isn't it? I like it.
Yeah. There she blows. There she goes.
All right, night, and thank you.
Bye. Bye.
And you'll send me the email for the festival.
Yeah, I think I've already sent it. If you have.
Oh yes.
I'm not sure I have. I'll email you and ask you to do it again.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so
I'll start playing with my computer.
Hey, what?
I didn't like to mess around with my computer, but getting these pictures up behind. When I'm by myself, I'm not going to blot out everybody else. I'll start playing. Okay.
That's okay. You'll have to learn how to
Homework
do it
next
another time. Or perhaps if lockdown stops, Gwyneth, I can come over the road and
Oh, right.
I can show you how to do
You
it.
might not be allowed on this side of the road.
But like famously,
When
I
you
think
throw the
it'll cost
computer
you
out
a
the window,
chocolate
we can check it
biscuit.
for you.
Yeah, catch it, Richard. You're there to catch it.
Right, so as people know, I'm a fan of Yoko Ono. I'll read her art instructions. She's wrote 2 books of art instructions. One's called Acorn and the other one's called Grapefruit. Grapefruit she did back in the 1960s. Acorn is a lot more recent. And this one's an acorn. It's called The Sky Today. And kind of Yoko's art instruction is, do you remember the first time you saw sky? And I went around asking people, do you remember the first time you saw sky? And this is what people told me. She sits lonesome in a bedroom, grieving parental loss, lifts her head and sees it, the sky, elemental life force, always there, always giving. So she takes a cloud, wraps it around her shoulders, names it comfort. He, back flat to grass, arms outstretched, exhausted by playtime, opens his eyes, the sky, but it throws out nation shapes, mysterious and giving. He inhales a cloud with place names he knows and does not know, and he thinks, I will call this one adventure, while she climbs a mountain that hides our sun to reach the top to see it. What sky, so good, so strong, so fitting. She takes no cloud. Exposed with no cover, she leaves them there to hang for someone. The sky today, when said and done, is blanket grey with a piece of cloud for everyone. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Wendy.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Well, it seems to be all the S's tonight, and my poem, I did put it on Disability Arts, and it's a bit of a contrast to your beautiful poem about sky and clouds, and this is called Slappers. It's not quite what you think. Sister Glenn, when I announced age 10, when we were 19, I'd wed Glyn. Slap, bang, wallop, what a welter she gave me across my face. We never got hitched and he's a gay vicar, put paid to childhood marriage games. My old man, the bastard, slapped me across the face. I think I showed my nerve at him. I think that I said no to him, and that was excuse enough. Smacked into shot by Julie Fox, guilty as sin, she demanded. Why don't they hit me back? I shook my weightless head. Biggest selfie slapper was me, finger licking good, knuckle dusting clapperboard, stomach, thighs, face, head. To hurt yourself hurts no one else, and you've got a slapper on tap. Slapper mama, slap, slap, bang round my head and shoulders. I'd driven her mad and now she turned on a messed up 17-year-old. Working her up to kingdom come, her tired soul was irked. Ranted and railed till she erupted, or bloody youthful lip. Her angst was mine and was hers was mine. I'd give anything to change it now. Slap her bro, First to whack, kick, blow, he certainly gave it to me. Evil little bastard followed the trait, violent family tree. Bloody encounters regularly planted me my first. The hits, the kicks, the stones he threw slaked a sickening thirst. The affable Mr. Marshall who lived across the road told me aged 10 when you were a bare knee your Kevin didn't half slap you, he gave you a right sidewinder. You sat on the coursey edge and roared, Mama, Mama, Mama. First slap is the deepest, but no defeatist then, I screamed and shouted before I died. Were my family listening? Punch as I could pull 'em out of a hat when lads showed lasses who's boss. Lucky dip for a lippy kid, my face invited their wrath. Anita ran, but I stood firm, my back against the wall. It wasn't me they were after, but my defiance was a taunt. Watson, the pink-faced piggy, deared and ratty and skinny. Bwannon, the nerd, couldn't pronounce his R's. Hole 3 had a go. Like a weevil wobbling, I didn't go down, but my feet were led in tar. Punch, 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 no first of the month. My nose, my nose, my nose. By shock ashore when I stood, a valiant fool on Valley Road. I was given such kicks my coccyx stung. I was stuck like a spud in mud. He was after Winnie, but cleverly she ran. All I got for my stupid stance was a sneer and a leer and dribbling tears and a spine-chilling shocker boot thud. I thought he'd pass me. I never learned. How bloody wrong was I? This was a kid when we worked in the pea fields who gleefully booted toads. John Fairweather, he was no friend, playing round us in the juniors. I didn't run to the last post, and for my moment of madness, he kicked me right where Shocker did. I almost collapsed. Little Martin, he told nobody, but he emigrated to Australia, and I hope and I pray that when the anti-poms pelted him with shit and other regalia. New Year's Eve never fared me well, and at a party in far-flung Ilford, a mad Scottish bastard attacked me, just bashing me round my head. I tried to fight back, but a fat, silly slag who was on a seasonal promise comforted him and soothed him as if I were the problem. Said to him, there, love, ignore her, she's mad. He jumped up again and went for me. God knows what I had done, but he smashed my flatmate's Art Deco turquoise earring she'd lent me that was just about hanging on. To get rid of me and my oblivious mate, the host gave us 20 quid, so we got a cab, and I wonder if the desperate bird got herself a holiday shag. Upper Street, 1990s. Tiny, shiny Asian girl on the 30 bus, pointing at the window. Look, Daddy, look, Daddy, look. But the fucked up little scrote gave her a vicious blow, a real palm burner, enough to turn her pretty smile into a mope. Crying, sinking deeper down. Did you have to, please? Keep Daddy happy, anything to appease. I hope you found your buried joy. Are you smiling now? Or is it just a cover-up? How many nervous breakdowns? Do you conceal bruises round your big brown eyes? Pretend you're having fun? Do you hide the dirt, conceal the hurt? Wake up, make up, slap it on. I can't believe people when they say they've never actually been touched, hit or anything. I just seem to be somebody who just got it from girls, boys, whatever. And always. I even got punched in the throat when I was 12 by a bloke at school. So yeah. I just seem like a punch bag.
Twice at home.
But I got a point.
Plenty of times at school.
Yeah.
What about you,
but
Seth?
girls, they'll say, oh, I've never been, I've never been.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Must be nice, yeah. Must be amazing. It's hard to believe. So. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Wendy. Nice one. What about you, Sez? You got any more?
Yeah, I've got on. I actually wrote this when I was working for the NHS, and I was working in equality and diversity, and I knew I was going to be leaving soon because they'd absolutely driven me mad during the time of it. And they asked me to read poetry at this equality and diversity conference. So I had to write something that wasn't the very sweary thing I'd been writing while I'd been off sick. I didn't think I was feel quite ready for that. But a thing that would happen, I worked in Derbyshire, and I don't know if it's a specifically Derbyshire thing, but when people didn't know what to say about something, or there was an awkward pause, they'd go, "Bless you." So this is called a Chesterfield blessing. I noticed it a week into the job. The colleagues who would tilt their heads and sigh when somehow I'd impinged upon their normal with unexpected pronouns, thrown girlfriend like an unexploded bomb into the break room. The pause before they cluck their benediction. Bless you. We do not spend much time in front of mirrors. How can we when with so much we need to do? We look out through the world, through tunnels of bone, through lenses of the bloodshot tint of rose. How often do we really see the way we look reflected in another's eyes? Did you feel it? The sneer that touched your lip and soured the smile you gave me? I could not see my own arms as they folded against you. You thought, well, they don't make it easy for themselves. For me. I thought, I will not drop my guard again for you. The pause and then again that verbal tick. Bless you. We go and take each mandatory training, each online course a duty grimly borne. We vaccinate ourselves against imaginary litigation. We keep out of the red, we stay in line, we know that we do not discriminate. The pause and then the stilted sympathy. I watch for it now when someone not the same disrupts the status quo by being there. I know I feel it often on my face, that look of blank surprise. Why are you here? Why have you stepped out of the role we gave you of inspirational minority, of patient story? Didn't we do well? The script runs in my head, corrupting files. I do not want to be the one who's wrong. Somehow I still believe I am the one who never makes mistakes, who always smiles without the blessing bitter on my tongue. I try to bite it back without a wince. Too late, I know how sharp our eyes become. Bless you. How often do we see the way we look? We do not want to be the one who's wrong. You do not want to be the one who's wrong. Look difference in the eyes. Don't fill the silence with empty benediction. Don't be scared of being wrong, of listening, of truth. Look at you now, reflected in another's eyes, imperfect, but perhaps prepared to learn. Bless you. Thank you.
Lovely.
So that was my bye bitches to my NHS job.
Yeah, at least it's not bless your cotton socks. Oh, that really riles me. I had a flatmate. Oh, bless your cotton socks. Oh, God.
Well, that's more Lancashire. Bless your cotton socks.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm conscious of, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I really had to watch out was all bless him or bless her, because that was behind someone's back, and that was much more like, yeah, the word you're looking for isn't bless, is it? No, that's not the verb you're after.
Which part of Derbyshire was it?
I was based in Chesterfield, but I went all over.
Oh, right. Do you know a place called Healy?
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Because apparently my great-grandfather came from there. I didn't realise.
Hena, did you say? Or?
Healy.
Healy in Sheffield.
Oh, is it in Sheffield?
Yeah, Healy's like there.
Oh, right, really?
It's over the road.
Oh, well, my great-grandfather was from there. And, yeah, I didn't realise till I found the, record.
We're right on the border. Healy's like really near the border between Chesterfield and between Derbyshire and South Yorkshire. So on all the maps, it turns up in Derbyshire.
Oh, right.
I heard a story, I don't know if it's true, that people in Meersbrook and Healy, which is where I used to live, used to tell Yorkshire that they were paying their taxes to Derbyshire and tell Derbyshire that they were paying their taxes to Yorkshire, and they out for years.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
Time for another conservation one. This is Article 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But again, it's about our local town hall. It was written last year around about times of Brexit. And I think it was also last year that the kind of England football team did pretty well in the World Cup. Either that or it was kind of 3 kind of years ago. This one's called Freedom of Movement versus Money. Kapow. Take that, all true believers. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights will not uphold your sacred wish to get rid of all Johnny foreigners and return to a state you call having Britain back. And so it is in this, the most no Brexit of all constituencies, that native Crouch Enders turned their thoughts once more towards Art Deco Nouveau Riche buildings like the Old Town Hall to mutter inanities, considering the movement of money whereby investors give a Hong Kong address and a Cayman Islands account and all the major doubts and questions that go along with cash nexus, and understand that money, that's one thing that won't stop moving. Money, that's one thing which won't be changing passports. Money, that's one thing post-World Cup that will be going home. Money disregards other units of production. Money kills off trees, it demolishes communities. Money ignores our localized dreams and fancies. Money is beneath the roots of this tree on our green. Money shapes the shape of our green. Money wears many different disguises. Money appears as plazas, piazzos, new plots and places, and yet rights and freedoms remain negotiable.
Whoa.
Way it goes.
Very
It says-
poetician.
It's 2024. Wendy might have an announcement about what she's doing on Thursday. But are you?
Hold on. Yeah, 25th of June it is. So that's next week. Next week, yeah, Survivors Poetry. You can find their page on, I don't know if you know it, says Survivors. Richard, you should join in, because it's a good night. It's a good night. I've decided that, you know, and so I was asked to do the featured spot next week, 25th of June. So, yeah.
And that's a Zoom meeting,
Yeah.
which people can find the invite to on Facebook.
Yeah, Survivors page on
Survivors
Facebook.
Poetry Gigs page.
Yeah, and Gwyneth, hopefully, will you tune in? There'll be
Tell
open
me-
mic. There'll be open mic spots at Survivors as well. So.
Well, if you send me an email or something to remind me.
Oh,
Yeah,
are you on
I'll tell you.
Facebook now?
Yes, on Facebook. No,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think I'll add you as a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah. When's the Highgate Festival, Eva? Because he says Eva.
23rd is next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's been throwing me as well.
Oh, is it? Oh, damn. What time? What time?
6:30 to 8:30 Tuesday.
What time? Say it again. I'm
6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30.
Oh, because I've been asked to take part in a test run of Dempsey 1,000 Monkeys, but I'll let her know what time this one. I'll have to join it later, yeah, or something. Because I said I'd take part, because you know Donald Dempsey, Richard?
Yeah.
Him and his wife Janice, and they're saying there's a test run, and it happens to be on the 23rd. I've only got but definitely Highgate is my priority. So, okay.
Cool. And Sez, hopefully, kind of you'll come back next week.
Well, if I can, yeah. I'm trying to work out what date that. I'm looking at my calendar. What date is it again? Sorry.
Tuesday, 23rd.
Oh no, I will be otherwise zooming.
All right. Any announcements? Have you got any announcements about future activities?
On the 22nd of June, I will be just on the open mic at the Sad Poets Doorstep Club, which is a Zoom gig that you can find online. And there's another one that I'm doing, but Stan Zoom, which is on the 27th of June, and that's a Newcastle-based usually night called the Stanza, which is being online, which means I can go to it. So those are.
This is the thing about I love online, because I've been doing Gloucester Poets, San Francisco, New York, and yeah, you don't have to leave the house. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah. And I never really get a chance to come to Highgate because from work, could I, Richard? I've only been to a couple, so I could come to all of them now. So brilliant.
Yeah, I've been to loads of my poetry nights since lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great. Thank God for poetry. Thank God.
Well, I will go with that one. Thank God for poetry.
Yeah, because I've had about 3 friends end up in psychiatric wards for alcoholism right through this. So, you know.
Yeah, it's tough times.
But I am used, yeah. Yeah. So poetry, thank God. My father's definitely brought now. So is that it then?
That's it from me.
Oh, it's hard to leave, isn't it, really? But
yeah, nightmare. What about you, Gwyneth? Any announcements, Gwyneth?
No, you lot intrigue me because you're performance poets, and I just write.
Oh, but Gwyneth,
once you start reading it out loud, you're a performance poet too.
Yeah, and Gwyneth, I love your delivery. I'd love to hear you on radio for more than a lot of people on there. You've got a lovely delivery, lovely voice.
Well, thank you very yes.
And your poems are really genuine, and I can't think of the word, but they've got passion. You mean it. You can
authentic.
See. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
What was the word?
Authentic.
Oh, right. Well, that I can't write unless it's something I feel really strongly about.
Yeah. Well.
So that's authentic. So I did when I feel really strongly, I write poetry, but it gets piled up in paper.
Oh.
So there we are.
Let's say ta-ra, and let's keep on feeling strongly about what you're strongly about.
Thanks a lot, Richard, again. Thanks a lot. Take care.
I've enjoyed tonight.
Thank you.
It was easier than ever.
It's brilliant.
Yes.
It's been great. Nice to have you along, Sez.
There's Les.
Bye.
Sorry.
On that note.
Bye.
When I go and play the piano badly.
Bye. Bye, Gwyneth. Bye, Richard.
Bye, Wendy. Bye, Gwyneth.
Bye.
Sez is gone.
John, bye.
Bye. Night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Take my headphones
It says
off.
end here. There's this little red box. It says end.
Go and get myself a strong coffee.
Oh,
There's another
lovely.
little red box. It says end meeting for all.